A frantic night in North Providence after an officer shot a man who was pointing what appeared to be a gun at them.
It happened on Manning Street around 8:30 last night, and new since noon. We're hearing from police about what happened and why they were called there in the first place.
Eyewitness News reporter Steph Machado is live in North Providence, where the investigation stands tonight.
Well, an investigation is now underway after police say a young officer shot a man several times because he thought he was pointing a weapon at him. It turned out to be a replica gun. North Providence Deputy Chief Arthur Martin says even he couldn't tell the gun was fake by looking at it.
I've been a law enforcement officer for over 30 years, and if that was pointed at me, I would be 100% certain that was a firearm.
Police are accusing 32-year-old Richard Salitro of pointing the replica gun at Officer Matthew Florio, who was responding to his home on Manning Street after a relative called to report Salitro might harm himself. When the officer arrived, police say Salitro pulled up in a car.
He exited his vehicle. He was holding a firearm in his hand. The officer gave him verbal commands to drop the firearm. He did not comply. The officer continued to give him commands, and eventually the officer fired several shots, striking the male.
Salitro was taken to the hospital and is expected to survive. Neighbors on Manning Street telling us they heard the shots and saw police swarm the neighborhood.
Based on the facts and circumstances we have discovered thus far, the officer's actions are to be completely justified.
Martin says officers are trained to respond to mental health situations like this one, but also have to react based on a perceived threat.
Unfortunately, the officer was confronted with a very dangerous situation. He felt his life was in danger. He took the necessary action to protect himself.
And ultimately, the determination of whether Officer Florio's actions were justified will be determined by the North Providence Police, State Police, and the Attorney General's office. Florio is on paid leave during that investigation. Police also plan to charge Richard Salitro with felony assault once he gets out of the hospital. Live in North Providence, I'm Steph Machado, Eyewitness News.
Tonight, a 32-year-old man is recovering in the hospital and facing charges after being shot by a North Providence police officer.
Investigators say the officer opened fire because the suspect refused to drop a realistic-looking weapon that turned out to be a fake gun.
Eyewitness News reporter Steph Machado has been working the story all day. She joins us now live from North Providence with the Northwest Mobile Newsroom.
Very realistic.
The phony gun looked just like a Beretta, according to North Providence Deputy Chief Arthur Martins.
It's not a pellet gun. It's not a airsoft gun. It was described to me as a replica gun, almost like you maybe use it in a prop in a movie.
Police say 32-year-old Richard Salitro pointed the fake gun at Officer Matthew Florio, who was called to Salitro's home by a relative who thought Salitro might harm himself. Martin says Florio commanded Salitro to drop the weapon. When he didn't, Florio opened fire.
The officer was confronted with a threat that he believed was a real firearm. He took the necessary action.
Deputy Chief Martin says the shooting appears justified, though that determination will ultimately be made after an investigation between North Providence Police, State Police, and the Attorney General. Officer Florio is on paid leave. Until then, he has been a police officer for less than 2 years on the force in North Providence since October. And police also plan to charge Richard Salitro with felony assault when he gets out of the hospital. We also wanted to see that replica gun for ourselves. The state police have it, but declined to release a photo. Live in North Providence, I'm Steph Machado, Eyewitness News.